entrepreneurs want to change the world. At Noosphere Marketing, we believe social media is one path to help them get there. Visionary organizations need visionary marketing.
My name is Emily Shipman. I'm a fundraiser. I'm also a farmer's market manager, a bit of an activist when it comes to agricultural policy issues and food systems issues. And I'm also a student at Marlborough College Graduate School. I'm studying nonprofit management. Okay, I'm particularly interested in the nonprofit sector, and that I really think that we can make change and sometimes react to issues more quickly, and we're a bit more adaptable to whatever the sort of pressing issues and challenges of the time are. The nonprofit sector is unique, and there are a lot of challenges that exist only in the nonprofit sector that I find really interesting. But again, there are benefits and I think strengths and opportunities in the nonprofit sector that don't exist in the business sector. I've been a fundraiser for both the Vermont Food Bank, doing events, fundraising, corporate sponsorship, corporate and foundation relations. And then also I've worked for larger institutions, Dartmouth College, Dartmouth Medical School, and Dartmouth Hitchcock Medical Center. And I think there's been a lot of separation between program specific work and development work, fundraising work in the nonprofit sector. But it's interesting to me as a fundraiser to sort of bridge that gap and bring the funders into the field, show them what's going on, involve them in the work, and sort of build relationships around with people who have the resources. Okay, so I'm a direct marketer at the moment. I'm the program coordinator of annual giving and direct marketing at Dartmouth Hitchcock and Dartmouth Medical School, and I basically tell stories. I get people to fund our work by connecting them with other individuals who have either been impacted by our work or who are sort of living our mission. So really what I do is I write and I tell stories, I interview individuals, and I connect people in that way. So sometimes I mail out thousands of letters telling someone's story. Sometimes I do a Facebook post or write a blog, but I'm really constantly moved by the power of the story. You know, people make decisions based on emotion. I don't think we all want to admit that. We'd like to think we make rational decisions, but stories compel people to action much more, I think, than numbers and facts and figures and statistics. And when we tell stories, we are connecting to people's emotions. We're appealing to them emotionally, and that's really the way to make change, I think. One story that was really effective, a fundraising appeal that I wrote, I'm fundraising for a cancer center right now. I just happened upon the blog of this fantastically well-spoken man who had a brain tumor, and he was blogging about his illness and his children. He had 2 young daughters, and he turns out was a fundraiser himself, and I contacted him and said, can I tell your story? We work together and tell your story in the form of a letter. So I wrote a letter that was sort of formatted like his journal. And I took pieces from his blog and pieces from an interview that I did with him, and it was written in his voice. And that appeal was incredibly successful. It made all kinds of money for the cancer center, which is exactly what this man wanted. You know, he's terminally ill, and he wants to try to make a difference while he's here, while he can. And that appeal really made a difference. I raised money for a children's hospital as well. I've written about children with cancer, children who are born with, you know, I recently wrote about a young boy who was born with half a heart, 1 ventricle. So, those really touch people, and I use a lot of images to try to show people what this, you know, I showed the little boy with his loving parents who, you know, want nothing more than to have a healthy little boy. And those appeals, you know, clearly do well, because I think everybody believes one of the biggest injustices is, lives that are taken too early and children who are made to suffer. So telling the stories of those individuals, those young children, is actually, easier. Sometimes it's harder for me personally, but you can make a great appeal from a story like that. It's work to try to balance out, an honest retelling of the story for the right reasons.